Hey, what's up you beautiful feckers? How you all doing? So this is Revenant, our sentient themed Warframe. Be like Frozen Balls over on Twitch and call him Papa Smurf, ruined. Or like an old woman with a wispy white beard, come and give Grandma a kiss. Whatever you want to compare him to, that's cool. Just please don't ruin him for me. Now, the most important thing is that Revenant is bloody powerful for now. His spinning laser show ultimate wipes out trash enemies in the blink of corrective eye surgery, and it will strip armor, shields, or gas heavy enemies in seconds as well, depending on that enemy type, because his ultimate will change damage type depending on the enemy that it actually hits. I meant hits, which I will go over a bit more in a second. Now, Revenant's mini quest is, if I'm being honest, a little bit buggy for some. Definitely was for me. I bugged out a few times. Now, I had to relog at certain points in order to get the waypoints to show up on the Plains of Eidolon map, and 3 of the 6 bounties that I ran afterwards to try and get some of his parts failed for no reason whatsoever. No enemies actually spawned in when I had to defend one of those areas against enemies taking it back. They never showed up. The ships flew in, but there was no enemies on top of those ships and no enemies jumped off them either. So like I said, a little bit messy. Now, to begin this quest, to get your hands on Revenant, you're first going to need to be rank 2 with the Quills Syndicate in Cetus. Then you're going to need to go to Nakak and buy the mask off him as well. Then during the night cycle on the Plains of Eidolon, you're going to have to equip that mask onto your Tenno. Now, this will initiate the dialogue with Nakak, which is pretty cool, but it will also show circular waypoints on the Plains of Eidolon map, which you're then going to need to go to. Going through these areas will continue that dialogue with Nakak up until the point where you have to fight the Shade of the Revenant, kill it to gain the Warframe's main blueprint. Now, once you get the main blueprint, it's all about farming bounties on the Plains of Eidolon in order to get the helmet, the chassis and the systems. And once you've built one of those parts, you then need to go and talk to Konzu in order to finish up the last parts of the mini quest. So that's how you get your hands on Revenant. He is locked behind the bounties on the Plains of Eidolon. And I know you all love bounties, alright? I can see you all smiling now. Oh, fucking bounties. Now, ability-wise, Revenant can crowd control with his Enthrall ability, which creates mind control minions. 4 is the most I've had active at any given time, so you can't have a massive army like I showed off on one of the previous dev streams. There is a limitation to the amount of minions that you can control. Now, the cool thing about Enthrall is that it allows you to pick and choose which targets to remove from the battlefield. Healers, heavy gunners, napalms, bombards, or those fucking shotgun dicks on Mott. Now, you may need to kill 1 or 2 minions in order to, I guess, turn other minions again, because it spreads. Once you turn one enemy into a minion, it will then go ahead and attack other enemies and turn those into minions as well. Now, when one of these enthralled enemies dies, it will leave a pillar of energy that shoots upwards that deals damage to anyone that walks into it. And this actually works really well because most enemies in Warframe follow a similar path. So if you kill an enemy coming through a doorway, chances are multiple more enemies will walk into that pillar of energy and take a lot of damage. Now, his second ability, Mesmer Skin, is kind of seen as being his tanky ability that will reflect damage back onto enemies, and it will stun them as well. So if they shoot you while you've got this Mesmer Skin active, it has a chance to stun them, or it will stun them. Now, the problem with this is that Mesmer Skin is based off of stacks or charges, so your power strength dictates how many charges you can have at any given time. Each time an enemy will be stunned, you lose one of these charges, and that stunned enemy can then be turned into a thrall or minion for free at no energy cost. So you can lose a lot of these charges of Mesmer Skin really quickly when surrounded by a lot of enemies. Like if you're jumping into Elite Sanctuary Onslaught and you turn Mesmer Skin on, you can imagine that with all of the gunfire you're going to be under, you're going to lose those charges very, very quickly. So you might need to turn tail and run or Reve. Now, his Reve ability is his get out of dodge ability that turns you into a misty wall that can pass through enemies and steal some of their health and shield, and it is a lot more effective when you Reve through some of your thralls or minions. I do feel like I'm rolling my T's here a lot just because I don't want to fucking say it the way I normally would with my accent. Now, his first three abilities require a bit of combining or synergy when choosing to just use those. So you would turn on Mesmer Skin, turn enemies into thralls, stun more enemies while avoiding damage with that Mesmer Skin, take loads of damage and then reeve the feck out of there, and then rinse and repeat. So you could do that, right? You could if you wanted to. Or you could just bring the whole bloody mission to the laser show and break out your Danse Macabre and kill them all. Blind the crap out of your teammates at the same time while you're doing it, if you've got a nice bright fluffy colour. Not exactly sure how colours can be fluffy, but you get the fucking point. Now, with the way his Danse Macabre ability works, expect to see Revenant being used a lot on Elite Sanctuary Onslaught and missions like Hydron, because he deals with large groups really well. The only problem with spinning right round baby right round like a record baby right round is you can and will get shot a lot from distance, and it takes a bit to exit that animation. By the time you think, damn, look at my health, it's gotten low, I just got shot, it's probably already too late and you're just a fucking smoking ruin on the ground. So Revenant's Danse Macabre ability is an energy drain ability that will scale off your power, strength and range, and it works in a cone in front of Revenant, and then he spins around to make sure that everyone is getting a good look at his lasers. The cool thing about his ability is it changes damage type depending, like I said earlier at the start of the video, on the target that those lasers hit. So against armoured enemies it will deal corrosive damage and strip their armour. Against shielded enemies it will deal magnetic damage and strip their shield. And against fleshy targets like infested it seems to deal gas or toxin. So it's an ultimate ability that scales very well against all enemy types. And another good thing about the Danse Macabre is when you kill your own minions or your own thralls, they will drop an item that will give your Revenant overshield. But wait, there's more, that's not all of it. You can increase the damage of your Danse Macabre by holding down your trigger finger to increase your damage output at the cost of a faster energy drain. Am I saying that right, by the way? Am I saying Danse Macabre right, or am I just fucking saying it completely wrong? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, my first impressions on Revenant is he's a Warframe, like I said earlier, I expect to see a lot of. He doesn't have any real squad utility other than everything's fucking dead, Jim, which is good as well. Let me know what you think about Revenant if you have your hands on him already. What you thought about the quest, if it bugged out for you as much as it did for me or not. If you're on console, then I guess you can expect him in a few weeks as usual with updates, the difference between PC and console. Do me a huge favour and hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.